In this tutorial, we're going to create this drawing of a clock. We call it the FindlayClock, using three methods of circle creation. The first method we're going to use to create the outside circle of the face of the clock is the center and radius method. Then for the bottom of the clock, we're going to use the circle center 2-point method. And then finally, to create the pendulum for the clock, we'll use the circle center diameter method. We're going to use the wood-met template. It's a metric template. And we're going to set our scale to 1:4. So let's go to AutoCAD, and we're going to open up that template by clicking on the application button, clicking on new, and we're going to look for the wood-met template and open that one up. Now the first thing we should do when we start a drawing is always to set the scale. So we'll go down and click on the scale button, and we're going to select our scale 1:4 from the list, and then we're going to lock our scale so that when we scroll in and out, or rather zoom in and out using our scroll wheel, the whole page gets bigger and smaller, but our scale remains the same. So next we're going to draw the face of the circle, and we're going to draw the outside circle here using the radius, and our radius from the top quadrant to the center, as you can see, is 140 millimeters. So we're going to create a circle. We're going to use, in this case, the keyboard. So we're going to type in C, and you notice circle comes up. We'll hit enter, and we're just going to pick a point somewhere on the screen for the center point and drag away. It's asking us for the radius. We simply type in 140, and we have our first circle. Now we're going to next create the bottom of our clock using the circle center, or circle 2-point method rather. And to do that, we're going to draw a temporary line from the top quadrant of the first circle straight down that represents the overall height of the clock, 464 millimeters. It's a temporary line. It will just simply help us to draw the clock, and we can erase it later. So we'll start off with L, enter, to give us a line command. We will start at the top of the quadrant here, and we're going to point then straight down, and we'll type in our 464 millimeters, enter, and that's it. We'll hit enter again to end the command. So now we have this line, and if I hover over, you'll see it's 464 millimeters. That's the height of the clock. So next up, we're going to create a circle that represents the bottom of the clock, and what we need for that is the diameter, because we're going to use a 2-point circle, and with 2-point we always need the diameter. You'll notice from the center of the circle to the bottom quadrant is 70 millimeters. That is the radius. And to get the diameter, we simply multiply that by 2, which is 140. So going back to our drawing here, we'll start off with a circle again, C, enter. And instead of the center point, we're going to type in 2P for 2-point and enter. We're going to select the bottom of this line, and we're going to point straight up, and we're going to type in our diameter, which is 140. Now we have the bottom circle for the clock. Now next up, we're going to draw these lines in for the outside profile. So we'll start with a line again, and we'll start over here, and you notice as I hover around the side of the circle here, the only object snap mode coming up automatically is quadrant. And if I click and I go to this circle and click again, notice there's only quadrant that's coming up, and hit enter, you'll notice that when we zoom in, our line is cutting through our circle. And that's what we don't want. We don't want the line to cut through it. We want the line to just touch it. In other words, we want a line that's tangent from the top circle and tangent to the bottom circle. Now if I go to my drafting settings and Object Snap, you'll notice that I have selected tangent. So it is on. However, when I try to create the line, tangent will not come up on its own. Basically, tangent rarely will come up on its own if you've selected other object snaps. So what we have to do is force it to come on. So we're going to delete this line, and we're going to type in line again, and we're going to force tangent to come on by typing in TAN and enter. And now you notice when we go to the edge of the circle, whenever I hover near the circumference, I get the tangent symbol. So when you see the tangent marker, you simply click. It doesn't matter where, just click. And you'll notice wherever I move my cursor, it's going to create a line tangent to that circle. When I go back to the bottom circle, you notice it goes back to quadrant again. When we type something in, type an object snap mode in, it only lasts for 1 point. So we have to type it in again. So we'll type in TAN, enter. And again, there's our tangent marker. And now it's the only marker that shows up. And we can click anywhere on the circle. As soon as we see the tangent marker, just click and it will draw a line that's tangent from circle to circle. We'll do that one more. Al, enter. We'll type in TAN to force tangent to come on. I'll pick down here somewhere. We'll enter tangent again, TAN, enter for the next point, and I'll pick up here somewhere, and you'll notice it makes a nice tangent line. Now to finish off this clock, we could do some calculations to get the center of this circle, and we could do some maybe calculations to try and figure out how far these two lines are offset. But basically we can quickly finish this clock using the tool we had learned previously called offset. And if I subtract the radius of this inside circle, which is 100, from the radius of the outside circle, which is 140, we end up with an offset distance of 40 millimeters. And that will help us quickly finish the clock. So if we go back and type in O for offset and enter, we specify our offset distance as 40, and now we can select the outside of the clock and point in. We can select here and point in, select here, click to the inside, select here, click to the inside, and hit enter. And now it's just some trimming that we have to finish off and to finish off the rest of the clock. Okay. Now, one more circle to create. If we go back to our drawing here, we're going to create the pendulum, and we're going to use the circle center diameter method. So we'll again type in circle, and we're going to use the center point of these two circles here. You notice when I hover near the circumference, a little mark will appear. That's the center, and since I have the center object snap mode on, it finds the center. I can click and drag away. By default it asks for radius, but if I type in D, enter, I can type in my diameter, which is, in this case, is 50, and it creates the pendulum. And again, just do some trimming, and we can get rid of some of these lines, and I'll zoom in here and get rid of this one, and we'll just delete that little piece left. So now my clock has come together. It's just a matter of drawing the hands and the face, which for this exercise is optional. We just want to draw the clock itself to learn how to put all these tools together, how to draw lines, how to use offset and trim, how to use the circle command and the object snap modes. This is the end of this tutorial.